Hey folks, and welcome to part 2 of this week's episode dealing with pursuit of happiness and living your dreams. Folks, I just did part 1, which I geared it toward young adults, to a lot of, to your kids. And part 2 is just a few minutes that I want to share an insight to parents. Again, I'm a parent, I have kids, so I'm just giving you my insight and my perspective, something to think about. Some of you might hear what I'm about to say and get very upset at me, and I apologize for that, but I just want to provide another way to look at things, right? And that has to do with the pursuit of happiness and the living of dreams for our kids. Many times, and we know that as parents, we always want the best for our kids. We want them to, we've always said we want them to be better than what we are, and that's great. And those are great things to say, but how we actually portray ourselves and how we interact with our kids makes a difference, right? Now again, if you have a great relationship with your kids and they're doing wonderful and you're doing wonderful, that's great, okay? But what I want to talk to those parents that you might think you have a great relationship or you might be struggling, okay? And it has to do with our kids, and we want the best for them, and sometimes while we're trying to do the best for them, we're actually hurting them. And I'm talking to those of you that are telling your kids, hey, you need to grow up and do this or be this, or you need to go to this school or you need to go to that, or the things of, when I was growing up, my parents made me do this and I had to do this. That's all great stuff. That doesn't work these days, right? Do not tell your kids what to do. What you want them to do, if you want them to be happy, is let them pursue their dreams. Let them pursue their happiness. What I did tell them in the previous episode, I talked about pursuing dreams and happiness. It doesn't always come easy. You're going to have some failures. You're going to have some things that you have to redo and move ahead. But it's no different than if we're going to be building a skyscraper, we have to start first floor and work our way up. We can't be at the 20th floor, right? So that's what kids have to remember. And as parents, the toughest part that we have to remember is that sometimes not getting involved or just being on the sideline is plenty of help. What I do want to tell you parents though is, if your kids ask you for help or if your kids run into trouble, that's when they need us. Not when everything's going great, but when they're in issues. And it breaks my heart when I hear people, parents say, if you ever do this, or if I catch you doing that, or if you ever come home with something, I'm going to disown you, I'm going to throw you out of the house. Really, folks, wisen up a bit. If they make mistakes, that's when they need us, not when everything's great, all right? So one of the things that we talk, if you tell your daughter, if you come home pregnant, I will disown you. Really? She made a mistake, she needs help. Are you going to be there to help her, or are you going to throw her out in the street? Kids comes home with a drug problem or alcohol or something like that, right? Those are very hard things for us as parents to deal with, but we got to keep in mind that's when our kids need us. Your kids need to be able to know if they run into an issue, who can they turn to? Because if they can't, then they're going to go somewhere else and they might not get the best advice, right? So I want to remind you this is, tell your kids that you're going to be there for them and really be there for them, right? The best way that we can help our kids, especially as they become teenagers and getting ready to go to school, is provide them support. Let me just compare it real quick. When you started teaching your kids how to ride a bike, remember you held on to them to the bike or you had training wheels and eventually you let go, but you didn't walk away. You stood there and you watched to make sure they were okay, right? And if they fell, you helped them up and you tell them they're okay and get on back on the bike. Same thing with life. As teenagers, we have to, when our kids are now teenagers and they're trying to identify with themselves and find out their life, we need to be able to just let go of those training wheels, be there, stand by on the sidelines, and be there to help them when they need us. Right? Just something to think about. Thank you for taking the time to listen to us. If you like this, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, I understand. If you want to leave any comments, please feel free to do so. And go ahead and also subscribe, because I am going to be talking about different issues. And I said it's not always about happy stuff, but this is the reality. Parents, you're great. You have kids. Support them all the way through. That's when they need you the most. Right? And as I always say, live to learn, learn to live. Thank you and have a great day.